That is right. Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here.
And Joker's wild.
And welcome to part 4 of the Great Walt Disney World Ranking Podcast. I realize I have left the word world off of the banner. I'm going to change that really quick. That's a great start.
It's okay. I forgive you. There we go.
God.
It's perfect.
Okay, that bothers my OCD so much. You see what just happened there?
Yeah, is there any way to change the banner so we don't have that cutoff? Because that might fix it.
Possibly.
Maybe one that goes total. Oh, there we go.
That works. Okay, anyways.
We did it. Okay.
Okay, Jokers, we're just going to jump right into things. We're about midway through the list. I'm excited. This is where things start getting interesting. We're just going to do the Poe Dameron thing one more time. Who's going first? Am I going to go first, or are you going to go first? How are we going to do it?
I went first last time.
Okay, I'll go first this time.
So, yeah.
Well, speaking of Star Wars, you like Star Wars?
Tiki, you rated Rise of the Resistance this low?
No, I've rated Smuggler's Run this low.
That's what I figured.
I honestly like the queue for Smuggler's Run better than I like the ride itself, and that's not even an exaggeration.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I think the ride itself is just okay. I really do. I think it's just like it's a barely better than Star Tours. Like, I do like the variety. I like that the back row has the worst game mechanics but the best view of the screen. I like that. I like that the gunner seats are basically the most engaging, like, actual in-game mechanics. And then obviously the front row, you get the the punch it moment, which is like the big wow moment of the ride. So I do like that the different seats have different advantages. And I really do like the queue. And if it weren't for the queue, this would probably be lower. But yeah, I don't know. I really just wish that they'd actually change up the missions because, once you collect a couple cans of Calaxium, it just kind of blends together.
Yeah, I think that's what it needs. Honestly, my biggest issue, I do, like, I enjoy the ride. I love the technology. I really like how everything feels like it has an effect on the rest of the ride. Like when you leave, and if you did poorly, it looks like the Millennium Falcon looks damaged. But I think it's just too dependent on who you're riding with. Like, I've had really great rides, and then I've had terrible rides. I remember I rode one time alone, and it was me and like a bunch of old people, which is fine. But one of the gunners was like too timid to do anything that her husband didn't tell her to do.
Oh, God.
So like she just refused to shoot. And we were doing terribly because she was refusing to do anything. Like, it was really shitty. So like I don't know. I think it's a little too dependent on like being with your own party. I do
think that if you do have a full party of 6, it can be a blast.
Absolutely. Yeah. But
it's like the best co-op video game that way.
Absolutely. Yeah. That, and it's kind of tough getting where you want to be. Like, I've never driven because I've been in a group of 2 or I've been alone. So I just kind of end up there. And it was kind of busy then, so I couldn't really say, like, hey, can I wait for a pilot seat? Because they were just trying to push people through. But yeah, I'll talk more about my thoughts when I get to it. But I'm totally with you.
All right, what's your number 40?
You're ready for me to get a lot of people mad?
Oh, no.
my number 40 is Soren. Because
Soren, wow.
Soren. I don't like Soren.
Okay, wow. I mean, I don't have it much higher than you do, but it is definitely on the 30s, on the 30 to 20 tier.
I famously do not like Soren.
Hey, Evan.
What?
Would you like to come over and play with my Erector set?
Yeah, that's what I love doing. I'm
Evan,
a thinker.
For the new people out there, would you please regale us with your little routine about the Soren guy?
So when I was a child, I used to watch a lot of like Travel Channel TV Disney Parks documentaries because I was a nerd. I'm still a nerd, but now I have a life, so I don't watch as many documentaries. But back then, I used to watch many. And every single Disney Parks documentary, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if like they released a new Epcot documentary and they're like, "Hey, new Epcot's opening up in 2024." And they still have
But they
this
still just have
asshole.
the same
Yeah, they
footage.
still have like the same like 2000 like pre 9/11 clip of this man talking about his goddamn erector set. So like every single Parks documentary, we have like the same man. I'm pretty sure it's in the Imagineering story. He's like, I was home for Thanksgiving, and I was in my attic for some reason, escaping the rest of my family, and I came across this erector set. And I was like, wow, like that could make a really good ride system. So I sat and I thought, and I made a marvel of engineering. So we have that for like for 20 years. I've been listening to this goddamn story. And like that's not why I hate Soren. I just hate how much they really tell this story. Like they're so
Uh-huh.
proud of this man and his erector set. Meanwhile, they have like 75 people working on like working on like the newest computers imaginable. Like doing this crazy stuff. They're making like VR versions of Rise of the Resistance back in 2012, and we're still talking about this man with his erector set.
Right, right.
So, that went a lot longer than I wanted it to. But I'm sick of the erector set story. Um, but onto the actual ride. Now that it's opened on the world's largest erector set, I don't know. It just feels very soulless to me. It's always felt soulless. Tokyo Disneyland is actually the first version of Soren that I've ridden that I actually enjoyed because it actually has a personality. It like does something with the ride. It kind of made like there's a through line from queue to exit where I felt like I was experiencing something other than vistas of California. Like I don't know. I've never been impressed by Soren. It's very dependent on where you sit. Um and yeah, that's why it's ranked so low. I don't hate it. I've had good rides on Soren, but most of them have been middling to bad.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
All right. Number 39 for me is going to be Test Track.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not a
Okay.
fan.
That's
I honestly enjoy the original version a lot more from what I have seen of it. I just feel when they went all Tron with it, it just kind of took away a lot of the original character to the and it's like I feel like if they would have just made the attraction Tron and just went all the way with it, that would have been fine. But now it's just like, hey guys, here's kind of like a lame Tron aesthetic. But it's
yeah,
not
like
Tron.
sorry. I miss the personality. Oh no.
I
But
mean, it's an adrenaline rush, but for me, that's it. It's like that's like literally the only appealing part of the ride for me. And I am always just so disappointed whenever I get into the ride vehicle because it's like I am reminded it is the exact same ride vehicle as Radiator Springs Racers, and I am going on something that is not even going to like touch the tip of the iceberg that is Springs Racers.
no, that's very fair. Like I miss the personality, but at the same time I appreciate that I don't feel like I'm driving through a warehouse anymore. That was my biggest issue with Test Track, the original Test Track, is that it didn't really feel themed. Obviously it was, but there's only so
Uh-huh.
much you can do with a realistic like testing
Sure, sure, sure.
facility. So it felt very warehousey. It felt very unthemed, even though it wasn't to me. Um, so I like the Neutron stuff, probably a
I
little more than
also
other
just
people do.
am not a fan of the interactive elements.
That's fair. I get
It just
that.
it honestly just feels like it slows down the whole loading process more than it does anything else, and I just don't feel like it's worth it. Like
I
I
I don't think
honestly
it
feel like
takes
the
any.
attraction would be better if we just kind of got on the ride without having to go through that.
I mean, I don't think it takes any longer than the original pre-show did.
I mean, that's fair. I don't
And
know.
if
I
anything,
usually
I
just
think
skip it.
I think it might be a little stronger than the original pre-show. The original and obviously the original pre-show was great, but the room was literally just like a closet. It was like an
Uh-huh.
unthemed tiny room with TV
Uh-huh.
screens where John Michael Higgins would talk to you. But yeah,
All right, so what's your number 39?
My number 39 is Cali River Rapids. It's a fun ride,
Daily
but
River Rapids.
I
Okay,
don't
that
know.
was my number 42, so we're not too
Yeah.
far off.
Yeah, I knew you talked about it last time.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's fine. I really don't have a lot to say about it. I love the queue. I have fun on the ride, but there just isn't enough substance to it. Um, I know you said you preferred Cali to Grizzly River Run, but I think I prefer Grizzly River Run to
Most
Cali.
people do, and that's
Yeah.
totally fair with Grizzly. Like I said, I just think that Grizzly has a very great like facade. I just don't necessarily think the layout is all that fun.
No, that's fair. I just like the view better. Like I think the theming's better.
Uh-huh.
Other than the queue, obviously, Cali has a far superior queue, but I don't know. I feel weird. I mean, I don't know. It's the theming for Cali's kind of weird. Like just this like anti-logging theme, which is cool. It's fun. I
I mean,
understand why
honestly,
they
living
did
in
it.
California, it's like I can tell you that the theme of the danger of forest fires is real.
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't know. I feel like Cali is very pointed to like 20 people who might ride Cali. Like some logging executive is gonna feel very uncomfortable on
Oh
that
my
ride.
god. This is your fault.
Yeah. They're like, wow, that's pretty weird that Disney invited the entire
This
logging
river
industry.
is filled with the tears of your victims.
God, I wonder why Disney gave us all free trips as the board of the logging company to check out their new ride,
Oh
Cali
my
River
god.
Rapids.
So that's
But
Kelly
no,
Rapids, all right.
yeah, it's a fun ride. I prefer Grizzly. I just don't have I don't have too much to say about it.
Okay, so my number 38 is going to be Swiss Family Treehouse. This was on your last one, right?
Yes, I believe so. Yes.
Yeah, so it's like, look, I love it as a landmark. I love it as a piece of kinetic energy. Is an actual attraction. It's not too hot. As a matter of fact, I think as an actual attraction, Tarzan's Treehouse was like maybe slightly better, unpopular opinion, maybe just because Tarzan's Treehouse actually told a story, whereas Swiss Family Treehouse is kind of just like, hey, check out these rooms.
Yeah, Swiss
Check
Family
out
Treehouse just kind of feels like
mom and dad's master bedroom.
just kind of feels like you're breaking and entering.
Like, more or
Like,
less, yeah. Although I do think that obviously like the whole water system that they have going on is like
yeah,
iconic, classic, old school Harper Goff Disney. Love that. But yeah, that's honestly about it. Like that water feature is probably the only reason it's as high as it is.
mm,
So,
yeah, that's
all
fair.
right, 38 on your end.
My 38 is Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin.
Oh man.
I enjoy it. I know you don't. I have a lot
I
of
mean, I'm
nostalgia.
glad that it's not that much higher on your
No, no, it's not too high. I have a
Yeah.
lot of nostalgia for it because I literally grew up with this version of the ride.
Uh-huh.
It opened in like '98, and I was 3, so
Oh
it's
geez.
I
Yeah.
literally grew up with this ride. For some reason, I still have memories of Dreamflight, and I like Dreamflight. Um, but I do have a lot of nostalgia for Buzz Lightyear. Obviously it's not the best version. I think the other versions are far superior because of the guns you can actually pick
Uh-huh.
up. But I do like what's here. I like the speed tunnel. Um, I think the sets are a lot of fun. I think it's a great proof of concept for what Aster Blasters became, or what became Aster Blasters. Um, yeah, just it's a lot of fun, but it's not as good as 37 other rides. No.
Okay.
I don't do much else to say about it.
Okay, my number 37, I don't know. This one might be controversial. I know my number 36 might be my most controversial ranking yet. We'll get
Yeah.
there. 37 is going to be the mini adventures of Winnie the Pooh.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I actually do like it a little bit better than the Disneyland version, even though I acknowledge that the Disneyland version is more high tech and probably fits in better.
Mm.
And the reason I say that is I like it. It feels a lot more intimate in Florida and intimate in a good way. Like it feels like an old school Fantasyland dark ride, whereas I feel like the one at Disneyland is kind of like this weird halfway point where it's like they're trying to make it a D ticket by having like the the enhanced motion vehicles and everything, but it really
Mm,
just kind of like I don't know, it comes off as a weird sort of middle ground. Whereas I feel like the one in Florida, because it's more confined, because it's more sort of like I don't want to say claustrophobic, but definitely I think the set pieces are a little smaller. I do think some of the set pieces are a lot more memorable, like Owl's House with the Mr. Toad cameo.
mm.
So I do like it quite a lot. And honestly, like for this type of ride, for the Winnie the Pooh ride that replaced Mr. Toad, this is it might be a little higher on the list than I was anticipating. So I feel like this is a fair spot for it. It's kind of firmly in the middle.
Yeah, I have mine a little bit higher. I have it a little bit higher for me. Um, but I definitely agree with what you're saying. I don't know which one I prefer. I love the outdoor load of Disneyland's.
I will
Um,
agree Disneyland's has the better load. I'll agree to
I
that.
I
Yeah.
think that's really cool.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I've never really liked the queue of Disney Worlds. Of course, I have to forever mourn the loss of Mr. Toad, which was my favorite attraction
Although
as
at
a
Disneyland I have to
small
mourn
child.
the loss of the country bears, so it's like
That's very true. Yeah, Winnie the Pooh stole two beloved attractions from us.
indeed, indeed.
Um, obviously, Pooh's Honey Hunt is far superior.
Of course, of course.
uh, but yeah, I really like Winnie the Pooh. I'll get more into it when I talk
Okay.
about it. Yeah. My 37. Um, you're not gonna like how far up it is.
Oh no.
I don't think it's controversial. But my 37 is it's tough to be a bug. Um, because I like getting
I
poked
mean, look,
by the
that's
bugs.
fair. That's totally fair. I respect that.
So it's tough to be a bug is kind of weird for me because I obviously prefer Muppet Vision. But I think it's tough to be a bug is kind of the culmination of their like 40 theater experiences. It's the
No,
most
I can
high
see
tech.
that. I can see that as far as like the theater itself is very immersive right from the get-go, whereas
Mm.
Muppet Vision kind of like becomes immersive as the
Oh
show
yeah,
goes on.
yeah, yeah. I love the amount of in theater effects. Um, I don't think it's tough to be a bug ever really bothered me, like in terms of scariness.
I mean,
Um,
I just have some legit childhood trauma associated
oh,
with
that's totally
being a
fair.
bug.
It might be a little
So.
scarier than I'd like it to be.
Yeah.
But like I still appreciate it. I still think it's really fun. And of course, like obviously that really adds to the immersion, all of that. Muppet Vision uses the theater, but none of them use the theater quite in the way, quite as extensively as It's Tough to Be a Bug does. So I really enjoy it from that perspective. The show itself doesn't really have any substance; it's just kind of a collection of gags. Um, it's really the animatronics and the theater experience that make it for me. Though obviously it's not for everyone, especially the seed stuff. So yeah, it's
Okay.
cool. Yeah.
All right, here we go. One popular opinion land. So this is an attraction where I think the first half of it lives up to the hype. I think it's great. But the second half, I just kind of feel like once you see it once, to me, it's never really lived up to like, all right, like this is just kind of cool, but not really like riveting. And I kind of feel like with it's living with the land.
You're wrong, and that's okay.
I know everyone's going to be upset about this. I've never liked the green room, the greenhouse section.
What you got against plants, Tiki?
To me, I feel like I'm on a field trip.
Well, no, that's fair. I mean, that's kind of what old Epcot was. It was a field trip.
No,
It
I
felt like a field
understand
trip.
that, but I don't know. It's like, and like I said, I really do love the. I don't know, man. I do feel like this. I don't know. It's tricky because it's like I get the appeal, the behind the scenes nature of
No,
it
it's just not
all.
for you. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah.
I get it. No, I totally get what you're saying.
There is another
Um,
Epcot boat ride that, as you know, is going to be much, 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 much higher on the list.
the friendship boats.
Yes, you called.
That's your number one. um, no, I probably like it a lot more because again, I grew up with it. Um, And you didn't, which is why I'm sure you don't really
Yeah, I
like
think
have
the first
strong
time I went on
opinions
it, I
about
was
it, I
like
guess.
28.
And also, you know me, like I'm a big Epcot nerd. Um, so I like it a lot. I get how it's not for
I feel like
everyone.
I'm a big Epcot nerd, but more on the World Showcase side of things.
That's fair. I feel like you might have liked it more if they still had the actual tour guide.
Possibly.
Because
Possibly.
I feel like it loses a lot of personality in getting rid of those tour guides.
Uh-huh.
Um, because that was a lot of fun. I remember when they removed them, and I was really sad that they removed them. Um, but yeah, I get what you're saying, but I don't
And
agree,
also, it's
and you're
just very
wrong.
humid in that greenhouse.
It can get humid, yeah, yeah. That's how the plants thrive in humidity.
I understand that, but it just you're in that greenhouse a while and it's full of
No, I know.
stuff. Like I'm
That
saying,
being,
it's like going back to the whole like if an attraction makes me physically uncomfortable, that's not great.
I've never been uncomfortable in there,
I have,
honestly. Really?
yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, just not like this is miserable, but more
Oh yeah,
like
yeah,
hey,
yeah.
like my forehead's getting a little damp.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, whatever you gotta do. I understand. Anyway, my 36 is Tom Sawyer Island.
Okay.
Um, I love Tom Sawyer Island. It's great. It's a bitch to get to. Um, but I have a lot of memories associated with Tom Sawyer Island. Um, I think it's probably my favorite of the Tom Sawyer Islands. Um, or of the islands rather. Um, yeah, I don't have a lot to say about it, but it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it.
Cool.
Um, I if I have a longer trip, I will usually try to go over once to just like fuck around for a little bit and do some exploring. Um, yeah, yeah, I have a lot of fond memories associated with Tom Sawyer Island, and it's a lot of fun, and more people should go, even though it's a big hassle to get there. Yeah.
Okay, my number 36 or 35 rather,
Sure.
it's going to go by super quick. It's going to be the Walt Disney World Railroad, and frankly, it's a little higher than it should be. It's mostly
Yes.
up here for legacy factor. It's the train. It's the train,
The train.
and honestly, I feel like what the Walt Disney World Railroad lacks as far as like the supplemental stuff that the Disneyland Railroad has, it makes up for in just like the sheer scale of it. Like,
Mm.
because those stops are I love the scale of the train station on Main Street and the fact that you literally go kind of like into Splash Mountain to get into the Frontierland station and stuff like
Mm.
that. Like I don't know, just stuff like that to me, like, just kind of makes the actual railroad itself I feel like weirdly personal and interconnected to the park. And I appreciate that from like a very broad macro thematic sense, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I get you.
And
That
beyond that, obviously, I do think the Disneyland Railroad is the superior attraction because that's got both the better sight lines and the Primeval World and Grand Canyon stuff. Can't beat it.
mm.
But I still think for what it is, I think it's very effective. I'm actually really excited for it to reopen once Tron is done. So we'll
Yeah.
see what happens.
Yeah. That being said, I do think I think Disneyland, other than Main Street, has the better stations.
Uh,
I really like New Orleans Square Station specifically.
I like New Orleans Square Station too, but again, I really like the scale of the Frontierland one with where it's like within Splash Mountain. That really took me.
No, I like that. Like I like going through Splash Mountain. No, yeah, the station's good. I don't know. I think even the Storybook Circus one is good, but
Mhm.
I don't think any of them are quite as beautiful as some of the Disneyland stations.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. My 35. Again, Possibly controversial? I don't know. I feel like I'm saying that about all of these, but I honestly don't know. If you think this is controversial, leave it in the comments. Tell me in the comments what you think is controversial. Not even Disney related. Anything controversial, let me know. My 35 is Toy Story Mania.
Hmm.
I enjoy it. It's fun. I think I prefer the theming of, well, granted, I think it's a lot better now that we have Toy Story Land. When it first opened in Hollywood studios, like I don't know, it's just like a weird building, and then the queue always felt cluttered to me, and then the ride is fine. Whereas I feel like Disneyland and especially Tokyo Disneyland have the better theming and better setup to the attractions. Um, but yeah, it's a fun ride. It's just very too many screens, not a ton of substance. I like riding it. Like obviously it's towards the middle of my list, so I enjoy it. But I don't know. I don't enjoy it as the as much as the other versions, and I think even for Toy Story Land, I don't think it's the best ride in Toy Story Land. So
All
yeah,
right. This is actually really interesting because I have it much higher, and I think
really,
this is an example of what a really good queue and post show walkway can do to an attraction.
post. Oh well, yeah, you talking about the new queue?
What?
Yeah, no, yeah, no, I understand.
You know what I'm talking about as far as the post show,
Yeah,
right?
no, I keep thinking of the original version where you just like
That little
walk
walkway.
outside and yeah, no, in the original you just walk outside immediately, and I kept thinking of that. Like, what are you talking about? It's a door. I kind of forgot. But yeah, no, I get you.
Yeah, but we'll get into that. I think Midway Mania is a fascinating case study for me about how, like, I mean, I think the exterior of California Adventure is very nice, but there's like nothing to that queue. And
Yeah, no, that's fair. I feel like yeah, but at the same time, I feel like it fits into California Adventure better. Like Mr. Potato Head makes more sense in its placement in
yeah,
California Adventure. I really like the post show for California Adventures where you see like the real size of Toy
that is
Story
really
Mania.
nice. That is really nice.
Um,
Yeah.
and again in Tokyo, I think the queue is really cool because you walk in and like it's like a more focused version of Disney World's queue. Um,
Well, I will
and it's
defend Disney World, sir. I will
that's
defend Disney
fair.
World
Yeah,
once
that's
we
whatever you
get
gotta
to
do.
it.
I totally get you.
All right.
It's
I'm
okay.
actually a Toy Story Land defender just in general.
I like Toy Story Land as well. I definitely like I think it was good that they did it, and I'm not like
Mhm.
against Toy Story Land, but I think there are better versions of Mania.
All right, number 34 is
Yeah.
my personal fan favorite. It is Voyage of the Little Mermaid.
Wow.
It's up pretty high, but you know what? Blacklight puppets, 90s nostalgia, so bad it's good kitschiness.
Yeah.
I actually think some of the laser and fog effects are genuinely impressive. That big Ursula puppet, I don't know, it's messy, but to me, it's a lot of fun and it's very impressive still.
Mm. I think I just need to see it again. It's just been so long.
It's like you would think it would be not great, right? Just you would think a Little Mermaid show, you would think would, but I don't know. To me, it's like every time I go in, I'm just like from the get go, you know, because they have that first effect where all the lasers kind of simulate the being under the water and the waves and
Mm.
everything.
Under
I
the sea, as it
I don't
were.
know. It's just like it's really. I really think the show does a very good job with immersing you into the world of the Little Mermaid, even though it's immersing you from kind of like a '90s lens. I still think it's a lot of fun and it's very good.
Mm.
So
Yeah,
I
that's
will
fair.
defend Voyage of the Little Mermaid.
That's totally fair. Honestly, like if I saw it again, I'd probably be rating it higher than I did. Um, it's just been a while, so someday I'll see it again. Whenever they eventually, possibly, maybe reopen it, or with any luck, it won't have to be on the list anymore.
Right, right.
Yeah. That's really the best case scenario, because then I don't have to remake this list. No. But yeah. Anything else
No,
about? Okay. Well, look at that. My 34 is Under the Sea, Journey of the Little Mermaid. Um,
interesting,
yeah.
interesting. I feel like this is another example for me of how a queue, not that the queue at California Adventure is bad per se. I actually
Yeah.
think the facade is quite beautiful,
Absolutely.
but I think the queue at the Magic Kingdom kicks ass.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the queue. Queue is
And
fantastic. If
I
only
feel
the
like that
ride.
just elevates the attraction for me. So that'll explain why it's on my 30 to 20 list.
Okay. I don't know. I feel like as much as I love the queue, I feel like it sets expectations too high for the actual ride. Where we have this absolutely stunning queue, and then you get in and it's like a sea ticket dark ride that doesn't really go anywhere. Um, I think it's fine being a collection of the songs, especially for the style of the ride. Um, but I don't know.
The
The
one
the
thing
ending
about
is
the ride itself that's always got me is I do think that that initial dive under the water, under the sea, if you will,
Under the Sea, like the song.
with the projections on the clamshells and then like the
Yeah.
hole with Ariel, that to me has always been very effective. Like every time I've ridden it,
No, I agree. That's a
and
fantastic sequence.
I kind of like to go on Little Mermaid like either at California Adventure or Magic Kingdom just for that alone
Yeah.
because it's like a very classic, like peaceful, simple but effective Disney effect.
Yeah. I think that and the Ursula scene are the best scenes in the
Uh-huh.
ride. Kiss the
And
Girl's a lot of fun as well.
Under the Sea has some wonky lighting, but I think it is kind of a feast for the eyes as far as detail goes. So I
Yeah,
like that too.
I don't know about detail. It's a great scene, but I feel like of those like big atrium dark ride scenes, there are far better scenes in different attractions.
Uh-huh.
But it's still fun. I don't know. I think it's the lesser of the Fantasyland dark rides. But that doesn't mean it's bad. It just has some issues that I don't like.
That's fair.
But that queue is great. That first scene is great. The Ursula scene is great. I just can't get past it not having an ending, or glossing over the ending rather.
Mhm.
And some of the other some smaller stuff, like I've never really been terribly impressed by the End of the Sea scene, um, stuff like that. But it's still a fun ride. Yeah.
Okay. Awe yeah. Awe yeah. Awe yeah.
Wow,
My
Tiki,
number
it sounds to me like you're speaking the language of the Na'vi.
I am. My number 33 is Flight of Passage. No, it's not. It's Navi River Journey. Can
Yeah.
you imagine if it was?
Flight of yeah.
Fuck Flight of Passage. Navi River Journey, I honestly feel like from this point forward, we're getting into stuff that I do genuinely really, really like.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
I actually think Navi River Journey is a slight bit underrated.
Mm.
Um, like, yeah, it could definitely have some more animatronics. It absolutely could, and it's a shame that it doesn't. But having said that, I still like the fact that a lot of it is still physical. It's not just like, it uses some screens, but we're still going through a lot of like physical set pieces. In a lot of ways, it almost kind of reminds me of the same sort of surrealism that something like Adventure Through Inner Space had, where it's not, where it's more so about kind of like the surrealism of the atmosphere than it is about actually like kind of like immersing you in any one setting. Um, and of course, the shaman is, one of the scariest goddamn things I've ever seen in my life, and I love it.
Oh, I really like the shaman. I really
The
like the
shaman
shaman animatronic.
terrifies me. She legitimately
Really?
does. I have night terrors.
Oh no, she's gonna get you, Tiki.
I really
She's
do. She does. She legitimately scares me because it's like
she's gonna
because
reach out and snatch you
I don't like how close you get to her. I don't like how big she is. I don't
with her
get.
big long arms.
Yeah, right.
Oh no.
Oh god.
If you just sit on the left side of the boat, you're fine.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's
just
true.
don't sit on the right.
Okay, so yeah, Navi River Journey.
Yeah.
Ooh, my
My
number 32 is gonna piss people off, dude.
really.
Ooh, yeah.
If I
Ooh.
get mad, I'm gonna leave the call. I swear to God.
Well, good
my,
thing we're almost done.
my 33. We've already talked about it, so I don't think we really need to say too much. Is Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I've kind of gone over why I don't like it. Or why don't like it is too strong of a word. I enjoy it. I just think it's
Go
too
get that
dependent.
coaxium.
Exactly. I can only get so much coaxium.
Seriously. That's
Once
how
my
I felt after
coaxium,
like the third ride on it, honestly.
I know. Once my coaxium stores are filled, why would I even ride it again? I enjoy it. I think it's just too dependent on who you're riding with,
Mhm.
and it does get very repetitive if you ride it more than twice.
All right,
But
here
yeah,
we go, ripping off the band-aid.
okay,
I'm gonna say this.
yeah,
Um, if it weren't for my last couple visits where I just think that frankly the effects are just like they're showing their age
uh
and
huh,
the actual technology is dated, the
mm-hmm,
actual system is dated. I love it. I love
yeah,
the IP. I love its historical significance.
uh huh.
And I would love for it to maybe get, some TLC and actual you know, refurb to put it up to date, but
It needs it.
Muppet Vision is not in a great state right now, dude, and I
Yeah,
hate to say that.
yeah,
So I'm ranking Muppet Vision at 32 and I want to rank it higher.
that's very fair. Yeah, honestly, like ever since they redid the theater when they were making Grand Avenue,
Uh-huh.
I feel like the rides fell. They kind of gave up on the ride. And like I don't it was a lot better when we had the whole Muppet area. And I feel like it's missing a lot. Just not even talking about the ride, just it's missing a lot just with that missing.
Yeah, and
And it's heartbreaking.
I hate to say it, but it's one of those things where it's like as long as they preserve the actual film,
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm not gonna entirely be heartbroken about it inevitably closing. And it is
Yeah,
inevitable. It is
absolutely.
inevitable.
Yeah.
Because I just think it has run its course. It has a legacy for sure. But yeah, I don't know. It's like honestly, I kind of almost rather it close and go out in style rather than just kind of like be kept around as this sort of like weird kind of like halfway space between Star Tours and the rest of the Star Wars stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Even if they just put it on Disney Plus, I would be A-okay with
Right,
that.
right. The only thing that you can't get at Disney Plus is that you can't get Sweetums coming in.
No, well, I mean, even if they well, you could get the costume. Even if they just did like a pro shot of it and
That's
like
true.
cut between the theater
Yeah.
stuff
Oh.
and like the film itself, like the source
No, that's
film.
true. They could do that. They could totally
Yeah,
do that.
yeah.
What if every subscriber to Disney Plus comes with a Sweetums that follows you to your house when you
Mhm.
when you boot up Muppet Vision and it's just
Yeah.
there on cue, like bursting into your room? Is anyone looking for a bunny?
Yeah, they have every Disney Plus subscriber gets access to an app where you can call a minimum wage
Oh
worker
my
to dress up like
god.
Sweetums. Um,
You're
it's
fucking riding you're
yeah,
riding the bus like you're riding the bus in the middle of the day one day and it's not even you watching Muppet Vision. You're just minding your own business. Someone else is watching Muppet Vision.
yeah,
And then suddenly some other random guy is like, "Has anyone seen a bunny?"
yeah. It's perfect. It's like
All
it's
right.
in conjunction in partnership with Postmates. It's really good.
My sweetums.
Anyway, what do we have?
Rank me
32?
5 stars.
He just gets text. He's like, "Sorry, man, I'm stuck in traffic.
Oh
I
fuck.
lost the head. Give me like 10 minutes."
Oh damn. Oh fuck. Oh, that broke me a little. All right, all right. Number
Anyway,
30, number 32
2.
for you.
My number 32 is Slinky Dog Dash. I
Okay.
enjoy it. I enjoy it. Honestly, it's more of a thing where I prefer like the higher themed attractions in Disney
With
parks.
Slinky Dog Dash, I have both gotten a chance to marathon this ride and do a night ride of it.
Okay, I've only ridden
So
it
I
once
feel
during the day.
that's what I figured. So I
Yeah.
feel like I have had a lot more of a chance to actually get a full feel for everything this ride offers.
I
So,
mean, you're also more of like a coaster person than I am. I love coasters.
and
Like I'll
don't get me
do
wrong,
any
it's not like a
coaster.
coaster enthusiast coaster
Oh
by
well, no,
any
absolutely
means.
not. No,
Yeah, but
no. Like I am absolutely also a coaster enthusiast, but that's not why I go to Disney.
uh,
Um, so as much as I enjoy
it's
Slinky
kind of
Dog
why I go to
Dash,
Universal. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge.
wow, Tiki, are
Oh,
you going to
Evan,
Universal soon?
two nights of Halloween Horror Nights.
I know you're gonna get really spooked.
Maybe three. We'll
Oh no,
talk
Tiki. Oh no.
that
Ch-
later.
Check yourself.
Honestly, I know, but there's a possibility that I could do one tonight, tomorrow.
Oh, tonight, really?
Yeah, but we'll
Oh,
we'll see
jeez.
because
Okay, we'll talk about it.
I literally have time. I could be at the front gates by like 5:30.
No, you're right. Yeah, that's fair. Anyway,
Anyways.
Tiki and I will talk about it without you guys. You guys cannot be privy to Tiki's plans.
Unless you
Um,
sign up for our Patreon, if
yeah,
you want to
sign up
sign.
for our Patreon to join in on all of our planning,
Seriously, that
videos.
would be a fun thing to do as a Patreon perk is for people to just be in on my trip planning.
Yeah,
I would
for
totally be
five
down for that,
dollars.
honestly. I would absolutely be down for that.
For $5, you can make Blue
We
Dragon
don't
5
actually
say
have a
whatever you
Patreon right
want.
now, folks, but I do need to get off my lazy ass and set it up.
It's okay. Do you want to make Blue Dragon 5 say funny things?
Oh
For
god.
$5, you can send him a message and he will say it.
So Blue Dragon 5 is just our own personal cameo now.
Yes, yeah, correct. You want Blue Dragon 5 to wish your grandmother a happy birthday? Because he'll do it for money. He will.
All right. Jesus.
Somebody's got a birthday. Ah! Anyway.
You can even have it specialized like Toy Story,
Yeah.
Batman, Deadpool. Those three things.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we have a very special birthday. I can't do this.
Oh my god. All right.
Sorry. Anyway, Slinky Dog Dash. I really love it. It's a fun ride. It's just not really why I go to Disney parks. So I go to Disney parks for like the dark rides, for the more like more highly themed experiences. So as much as I enjoy Slinky Dog Dash, and it's a great coaster, I have a ton of fun. I had a ton of fun when I rode it, only once. I'd love to ride it again. It's just not quite why I go to Disney parks. So a lot of things got preference. So yeah.
All right. My number 31 is going to be Finding Nemo the musical.
Wow.
It's a little high, I know, but I am a sucker for giant puppets. I'm a sucker for theatrical productions. The fact that they just redid this show and revitalized it kind of gives me hope for the future of it. Makes me think that it's not like Muppet Vision where it was basically on life support. I don't know, man. I think the performers really do give it their all. I really do. I think this is one of those Disney casts where like the performers they have for this show are into it, and they are multi-talented because they're doing the puppets, they're doing the singing, they're doing the dancing. And it is just genuinely impressive to me. Not to mention you have these huge set pieces. I don't know. I really love this one. To me, this is Disney theatricals in the park scale at its finest for me personally.
Yeah, this is just another case of something that I need to see again. Because
Mhm.
I saw it like right after it opened, and I never saw it again.
That's fair. That's fair.
So I'll probably rank it higher whenever I eventually see it again.
All right.
But, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Where's my list? So my 31 is Rock and Roller Coaster.
Rock and Roller Coaster. Okay.
Yeah, I enjoy it. It's
Do you
fun
want some
ride.
backstage passes? Maybe we should give them some backstage passes.
Yeah, hey
If you
people we
want
just met.
backstage passes, sign up for Patreon.
Do you want a super stretch limo to
Oh,
bring you
God.
all the way to Tiki's house?
Oh no.
Join our Aerosmith tier today. I enjoy it. It's a fun ride. I love riding it.
Is Sweetums part of our Patreon?
Yeah, he's the driver. He's the driver of the limo.
Oh god.
It just he does make stops during to help out with Muppet Vision showings. So it'll take a while, but you will make it to Tiki's house eventually. There's no drinks, there's no food inside the limo. We're trying to make it as accessible to everyone, so the price is pretty low, or the rental price is pretty low. So there's no amenities, but oh boy, it's a stretch limo. Anyway, Rock and Roller Coaster, ton of fun. I just think it's dated at this point. That's my biggest issue with it. It's like 20 years old about now. When did it open? Like 2003, I think.
Yeah,
it's just a very dated ride at this point. Aerosmith are like they're like on their deathbeds at this point. Like they don't really rock so good no more. So I don't know. It's also
that
unrealistic.
Was the observation of the evening, Evan.
Yeah.
Aerosmith don't rock so good no more.
That's the name of their next album.
Oh god. I could actually picture it. Don't rock so good no more, yeah.
I don't know. It's vaguely unrealistic. Yeah, and I don't really think anyone's going like, "Wow, Aerosmith! We're here meeting the Aerosmith." Like this is unfathomable.
We actually get backstage passes.
We're meeting hit 1982 musicians, Aerosmith.
I would love to meet the person who's genuinely stoked by the backstage passes bit, and not in a meme way.
You're Steven Tyler. You were on 3 seasons of American Idol.
Oh god. All right, well, I gotta tell you, I was doing this on pure adrenaline, and I had a lot of fun.
Good. Yeah. I think this needs some sort of overhaul. I like the music theme. I don't know who they could replace Aerosmith with. But I don't know. I think the coaster is good, but it needs some sort of something, whether that be changing the theme completely or finding a new hipper band like the Billie Eilish roller coaster.
The Weeknd, perhaps.
Oh yeah, the Weeknd coaster.
Steal that thunder from Universal.
The Weezer experience. I don't know.
I've always pitched Green Day. I still think Green Day would work. I think
but
enough.
Yeah, but I feel like Green Day is as irrelevant as Aerosmith nowadays.
Fuck you!
Like, no, but I'm right. When is their last big album? I feel like Green Day now is as irrelevant as Aerosmith was in 2003.
That's fair.
See? Yeah, damn right.
Like Green Day now is not as irrelevant as Aerosmith now.
No. That was a little hyperbolic. I don't know. You're right. Like Green Day is
like I'm saying, Green Day has the potential to have a comeback album. Aerosmith.
No, they do. If they came out with a comeback album, absolutely. Like put them in the park. But right now, I feel like Aerosmith is like not a thing anymore. like they're playing
what about
bars.
Those Jonas Brothers.
Oh yeah, they should do the Joe Bro coaster. I would love that. That'd be fantastic.
Or what about everyone's favorite e-gamer Ninja?
Yeah, they can do the Ninja coaster. When you go up there is no lift hill. The launch is just him. No. He's just building a lot of Fortnite structures behind you. Launching it. The entire launch is just him saying that he practices so hard to get to where he's at. And anyone who doesn't practice as hard of him deserves to be a loser. And then And then he says, "Are you ready to
All right.
fuck?"
This has gone on long enough, folks. Lots of Universal vlog content coming out this week. Halloween Horror Nights. I'm stoked. Have a good night.
Yeah, you get no content for me. Good